Oh, and welcome to another one of my episodes. And this is going to be the new format that I want to explore because talking purely about coins is not sustaining me mentally. So I want to branch out into more business topics, so to speak. So I'm going to name this in a subsection. It's going to be called Professional Coin Dealer Meets Business or Gold Dealer Talks Business. This is going to be episode 1. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about margin. And I'm going to give you a run through of how I do things and how it might typically work in another business. Businesses come in all shapes and sizes, like people. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are low margin, some of them are big margin. But it all depends on a lot of individual factors concerning both the company and the client base. Now, before I do get into it, if you look below, there's going to be a super thanks function. So I actually applied for this when I put it to my subscriber base about having a partially membership channel. I decided that I didn't really want that, not because there wasn't people who said they would support it, but more because I want education. I want that to be free. That's one of my core attributes. I want people to benefit from what I know and how I do things, because you never know, there might be someone who picks it up and can do it better than I can, and then they can pay it forward as well. So in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about margin. And the reason I'm going to be talking about margin is because there was a gentleman who left a comment and he said, maybe the coin business isn't for you. It's a good hobby, but it's a really difficult business. To which I responded, yes, but overall I do pretty well from coins. I'm not going to shy away from that. I'm not a millionaire, that certainly isn't the case, but I'm doing okay. You know, a couple of years ago I really struggled. It took me 4 years to have success overnight. That's pretty much how it worked. So in terms of margin, different businesses will make different margins. Some of them will make crazy margins. Like if you're buying something that's worth £1 and they've got it in for say 20 pence, that's a 400% markup. But how many do you need to sell? If you're selling something for say £1,500, it's moving in 5 minutes and you're making 2%. Is that a bad day? Not really. So for me, if I get 3 of these coins in, so these are Krugerrands, 1 ounce Krugerrands. If I get 3 of these in and I make £30 on each and I sell them in a day, and some cases they will fly, some cases I won't even have them, I won't even need to list them, they will be sold before I've even bought them. That's a day's wages for me. But the margin's super low. And you need to understand that it's okay to have a high turnover business that has low margins, as long as it suits you as an individual. I just have to source these coins consistently. My biggest issue isn't so much the margins I make, it's more, can I get a constant supply of the coins I have? Now, I have good suppliers. I have various people message me wanting to sell or to trade. That gives me a constant supply of coins. I need to source 40 to 50,000 pounds worth of coins a month. I wouldn't want to be any bigger. When I started, I was like, yeah, it'd be great. You know, I'll build £1 million turnover business. But the more I did this business, the more I realized that I have to do everything. I can't take a day off, because if I do take a day off, something might go wrong. You know, I'm not at the stage where I'm working 9 to 5, but I make kind of a premium for that. So if someone messaged me at 2 in the morning, as much as I'm kind of annoyed, at the same time, I'm also grateful, because that's someone who makes me money. And I'm not cynical enough to say I only want to deal with people who make me money. I genuinely have friends, and I've built up great connections with lots of people, lots of different stakeholders. But there's going to be businesses that have high margins. There's going to be businesses that have low margins. But it doesn't mean you have a fixed margin. That's going to change. It's going to be very fluid over time. There's going to be times where, for example, your supplier has too much stock, so you're going to get it cheaper. Your margin's going to go up. I've had times where someone's come to me, I've got £20,000 worth of coins, I need it gone because I owe £15,000 on it. I'm not paying him the same price. We both understand we're in the trade. He needs money, I need stock. You know, I'm doing him a favor, but he's also making money. It's just business, and that's how it works. So there are coins and items that I do sell that I'm going to make really juicy premiums. And that's all about sourcing. Sometimes that's down to just what's flavor of the month. So these that come in yesterday or the day before, these will make 40 to 50%. Now, if I have £1,000 worth of these and I sell all of them, and they will all sell, I know they will sell, because if I don't sell them now, I'll wait till Christmas and I'll get £10 on them. Now, the guy who sold them to me, when he was originally selling them, he told me he was selling them for £20 a pop. He offered me a price he was happy with. I agreed. He's made his fair share. I'll make my fair share. And the end person will either gift it or keep it, but I will price it in a way that's both fair to me and to the person who's bought it. Because there's the Carrot Bar notes, they go for £12. I could make more margin, but it's not the type of business I am. I'm coins in and coins out. Now, what you expect is over the course of a year, you're going to combine the stuff that maybe isn't worth your time in terms of margin. And then you're going to get stuff that's really juicy and you're going to do very well. I have some silver coins in my reserve that I've held on for a long time for. They're 100% up. That's great when you think about it, because it drags my overall margin up. Think of it like picking apples. Now, this is a useful explanation for me because I've actually spent a season picking apples. I loved it. It was a great job. You're going to have the low-hanging fruit. Really easy to pick, very efficient, effective to pick. And what you can do if you're a bit naive is you can run along the orchard and pick all the low-hanging fruit, and you're going to have a great day. You'll be like, yeah, I'm going to boost my numbers. I'm going to make lots of money because it's done per bin. You're going to make lots of money in that day. And then you come back to it the next day and you're like, I have no low-hanging fruit left. So all of your best margin stuff is gone. And this is the same for a business. If you sell all the low-hanging fruit very quickly, it's great today, but what about in 6 months? Or in 10 months? 12 months, sorry. 18 months, 2 years. You always need to be thinking ahead. And you always need to price that in when you're buying. So if I am buying something and I know it's going very quickly, the margin so much isn't, like, if I can make 10% on it, great. You know, if I can get it in, make 10% on the spot, I'm over the moon. But if I'm buying something in like a Krugerrand for 1,500 and I'm only making 2%, if I sell it in a day, does it matter? Nah, not really. To me, that's still, I get 3 of them in, that's a day's wages for me. Or just under a day's wages. And I'm super happy and grateful to get that, because those are the days where I can simply sell those and think, what else can I sell? Can I get ahead of the curve for the month in case I have a couple of bad days? And that's fine. You know, that's not going to happen in other businesses where it's kind of automated, like an Amazon business or a shop. You know, people are going to come in and you're going to sell or you're not. For me, I can push more stock because I've bought myself a 3-day worth of income, essentially. Now, going back to the Apple analogy, you're going to have the top end stock. It's hard to reach. It's probably not worth most people's time. But once you've done it, you need to mix it. And once you've mixed the bottom, the middle of the tree, and the top of the tree, you're going to realize each one has its own energy consumption. Some of it's easy money, some of it's harder money. And that's the same with business. You're going to have the low hanging fruit. You're going to have the stuff that makes you a lot of money, sometimes very quickly, sometimes over the course of 18 months. But overall, you want to have an orchard. You don't want to have just a single tree. You want to build it so every time you take that low-hanging fruit, you reinvest that. So moving forward, you're going to have that margin moving forward. Now, the spot price of gold and silver, as we know, it goes up and down, but up over a long period of time. And this is linked to inflation. It's linked to money creation. Anyone who wants to bet that the government's going to take money out of the system, okay, I'm not going to say that's stupid. I'm just going to say from the history of man, yep, the history of man, not just like recent history, it's never been the case. So I hope you've kind of learnt a little. I hope that's kind of useful to some people. Maybe it's a bit of a rant to others, but I hope you've enjoyed the first episode of Gold Dealer Talks Business, and I'll see you on the next one.